Namaste, and welcome to Sila Social Studies. Today we're going to cover the 7 Years' War. What's the 7 Years' War? Why is it called the 7 Years' War? Who fought in it? Who gets what? Well, let's first off by saying this. The 7 Years' War was fought between 1754, 1763. That's when it ends. So it's 9 years, 7 Years' War. Why? That doesn't make sense. Here's your answer. Britain and France, historically, they've kind of not been nice to each other. This is another one of those occasions, right? So some of this war, some of the 7 Years' War is actually fought over in Europe. But when we're talking about the 7 Years' War, we're talking about what we call the French and Indian War. Why is this start? What's going on here? Here we go. Towards the late 1700s, mid to late 1700s, you have British colonists on the eastern coast, especially the southern farmers, plantation farmers, who are kind of not making a lot of money off of this tobacco. I mean, they're making money, but it's kind of starting to get stagnant. Their farms are only a certain size. They can't grow anymore. So what do? Well, the one thing you have to do is if you want to increase the size of your farms, you have to move to be able to increase the size of your farms. So what do the colonists do? They start moving west. There's this area called the Ohio River Valley, in which is currently occupied by the French. So the British start moving their way towards the Ohio River Valley. Now, why is this a problem? The French have it. The British want it. So the British colonists start moving over. They start actually getting into conflicts with the French. Bang, here we go. 7 Years' War. So it's called the French and Indian War because, I mean, who did the British fight? The French and the Indian, right? The British wind up winning this war, and that's why it's really kind of called the French and Indian War. Who did the British fight? The French and Indians. The French allied themselves with the Huron tribes. The British allied themselves with the Iroquois. So you have both sides allying themselves with native tribes, fighting each other. So what's kind of the result of this war? Well, the result of this war is the British win, like we said. And the British actually takes all of France's land holdings in North America at that time, the area of New France. So what happens with this is after this war is over, the British actually now control everything east of the Mississippi River. Spain winds up controlling everything west of the Mississippi. And if you know the United States, the Mississippi does not divide America in half. The British wanted everything east of the Mississippi, so that's what they got, except for Spanish Florida again. But the Treaty of Paris, which ends this war, gives the British that. Gives the Spanish everything west of the Mississippi, and the French kind of get nothing. They kind of lose everything over here in North America. Now, the colonists now have, or the royalty now has that land east of the Mississippi. So what do you think the colonies or the colonists are thinking? Hey, if that's a royal land, I'm going to go ahead and move there now because I'm a British subject. The British Crown owns that land, so I can move there. Wrong. The British Crown, King George III at this time, does not feel that colonists moving west is a good idea. Couple of reasons. First reason is it's kind of gonna put like a damper on the native fur trade, right? If the king's getting money from furs, and the British go over there and take that land over, what's that going to do to the fur trade? So the fur trade, the native fur trade is one problem. Another problem is the crown, King George, does not want these colonists to get into any kind of armed conflicts with the natives. Let the natives be there, and you colonists stay east of the Appalachian Mountains. If you go west of those Appalachian Mountains and you get into a conflict with the natives, King George is thinking, I have to send troops over there to save your behinds, and I don't want to do that. So the Proclamation of 1763 states that no colonists are supposed to be moving west of the Appalachian Mountains. Stay to the east of the Appalachian Mountains. Let the natives stay in the Ohio River Valley, and everything will be cool. What is our destiny here, right? Our manifest destiny here in America, right? We have to move west. These colonists are not happy with staying on these farms. They want that Ohio River Valley. They go get that Ohio River Valley. And ultimately, that rebellion of moving westward is what we would call like our first cause of our revolution. Colonists are like, I want that land. I'm going to go get that land. And you're not going to say nothing about it. So that's the 7 Years' War in a nutshell, a small nutshell. It's fought over the Ohio River Valley. The Treaty of Paris ends it. The French actually get kicked out of North America at the time. The British get the land east of the Mississippi. Spanish get the land west. And that leads us into revolution.